All right, everyone, welcome back. Spring semester, so we're going to run through the presentation we did at the beginning of fall. Welcome everyone who is new here. So UIC, Quantum Computing Club, before we start, you're here for a reason. You deserve to, know where you spend your time. I'm not a person to come off as a braggart, but, credibility-wise, I'll read one of these. These are testimonies, right? Like there's a product, people have testimonies for the product. I'll just read one at the bottom right. I like these the most because they have their certification in. Finally, I would like to thank Manny Gomez for his wrong answer rationale videos on the sample exam found here and the list of resources which he compiled. The rest of the ones, everything else has something similar, but kind of testimonies, credibility type stuff. So I got the certification we'll be learning about, some past work experience at the bottom, and then I accepted an offer at IBM for a summer position for a quantum firmware developer. So this certification, I cannot talk about it enough. I cannot praise it enough. It really is IBM's way to have a pipeline to funnel quantum engineers into their workforce. So very smart on their half. Time-sensitive content. You guys, everyone in this room is a UIC student. We're at University of Illinois at Chicago because we're students, and I want my students to have all the information they want. I don't like the whole dangling a carrot in front of someone and, you do this for me. No, here, this whole thing will be recorded. Everyone has all this information. Job postings, top one. A few months ago, we announced the official opening of the Amazon Web Services Center for Quantum Computing for 2022. We've added many new positions. So Amazon now into the game. They finished building their quantum computing huge building, and now they're starting to hire. This was 15 hours ago. Here are open positions, and then he says you can search them on the Amazon webpage to find the listing. Specifically for us, Qiskit is how you run quantum circuits on quantum hardware. Very valuable, because there are a lot of people, there are all the theorists that are like, we want to do this with quantum computing, but they don't know how to plug things, the right cords into the right outlets, and that would be what we learned with this Qiskit. So we learn how to plug their circuits and whatever they want to run on real hardware, which is why this certification is so valuable. So specifically for us, circuit design and simulations is what we are, the positions that we would apply to after having gotten the certification, as well as quantum software and infrastructure. So quantum software, Qiskit is the software you use to run circuits on quantum hardware. We'll be talking about this a lot. It's posted in every single video description. The resources that are available to the club, just to the public, whatever. If you want to go more in depth on this, go into the first video, the club introduction, I think it's called. I guess relevant stuff, the certification announcement, some advice from IBM, these 20 slide sample questions posted by IBM's James Weaver we'll be going through. Here's the sample test. I cannot say enough. IBM provides 20 slides. The exam itself is 60. So in these 20 slides they provide, you cannot get the whole breadth of the exam. So I really recommend taking this sample exam. It's $30, but the exam itself is $200 unless you get a waiver, and waivers are out now if you want to apply for them to take the exam for free. I really recommend taking this because it really, you get a, much more of like what they might throw at you, question-wise. Qiskit textbook, they recommend 1 and 2 before the exam, I believe. Wrong answer rationale, that's the one that the other person referenced earlier in the the LinkedIn post where they they gave me a plug for the wrong answer rationale. That's what we'll be covering today. So you can kind of go alongside us while we talk about it. Here, if you open the link, operations glossary, what Qiskit as a programming language is capable of. I really recommend doing it because it's a very short document. They don't plug it enough. A short document that's hey, this is what we're capable of. It's basically a dozen or so gates that you learn. That it's nothing insane. Qiskit Slack channel, great community. Really recommend joining. Additional references. I think these are what pushed me over the edge from failing to passing the exam. 1 Minute Qiskit, I described them, it's before I worded it as it's like they worked with the creators of the exam to show how to do the hardest problems, because they run through stuff that's on the exam, and it's like they worked hand in hand almost, and it's a great resource. So 1 Minute Qiskit on YouTube. The Qiskit YouTube itself, they have a great summer school, but it's not necessarily needed to pass the exam, but it's a great foundational knowledge, and other Qiskit notes. On the bottom. Yes, okay, the main thing, why I created this club. Quantum computing, not as scary as it seems. I always describe these little M&Ms, right? They're just colored things, and majority of students here are engineers in the STEM background. Some of us electrical engineers. I always describe quantum computing as spicy electrical engineering. They just sprinkle some stuff. This is a NOT gate. This is, and they're just gates that they're just spicy electrical engineering. So this is a quantum circuit. Looks like the love child of music notes and electrical circuits, or circuit diagrams rather. So all these things are like quantum operations that are being done on a quantum computer. Not crazy, and they make it really easy for the person. But it's also a very powerful skill. Qiskit is the language we'll be working with. And you may ask me, Manny, why are you so focused on syntax? Why do you care about the nitty-gritty details? This is why. So this is why we care about syntax for the exam, and we care about nailing everything as precisely as we can, which is a pattern you'll see in quantum computing and the measurements we take. And then, of course, happy ending. You get the certification after you study. And I explained more of this in the first video, just like how they break down the exam. And then, of course, what we'll be going over. Is everything okay in the chat? Okay, I'll mute that. Okay, yes, so that was our spring introduction. Again, very relevant stuff, this certification. It's commonly described as cutting edge. I don't know how I feel about using the phrase, but it's commonly described as cutting edge stuff. Running circuits on quantum computing hardware. You don't necessarily need to know Python. You just kind of need to know the patterns of the language and how, it's like Legos and building blocks and how to set it up. And also like how to search for answers to your questions, which is what we go through in the questions. And now we'll get to the actual questions themselves. I think we're all set for the spring introduction.